Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is Ozark, Season 4, Part 2, the final season. We left off with Ruth Langmore having an epic meltdown because Javi, the new cartel leader, had just killed Darlene and her cousin Wyatt. Javi and the Byrdes have a meeting in Chicago to finish the deal with Claire Shaw of Shaw Pharmaceuticals. But Ruth follows them there and crashes their dinner. "You're gonna help me kill Javi," and they can see there's no talking her out of it. So they lure Javi back to Claire's office and blam! Oh, Ruth kills him. And this is bad for the Byrdes. The deal with Javi and the FBI was done. They were out, but now they've got to scramble again. Their new plan is the same as their old plan. They'll just use Omar Navarro instead of his nephew Javi, but getting him out of prison will require some serious political capital. Behind-the-scenes politics is Wendy Byrde's specialty, working with her guy Jim Rattlesdorf. Problem is, a lot of their power came from the Shaw Pharmaceuticals deal, and now Claire's scared she's backing out. The next problem is the cartel won't wait for Navarro to get out of prison. They need to resecure his power now. Someone has to go down in person and run things as his proxy, so it's Marty Byrde, mild-mannered Midwestern dad, here to intimidate all the cartel lieutenants. And he does a decent job. It's like, look, Omar killed Javi, he's still in charge and I speak for him, so you listen to me. Someone doesn't take it well though and tries to have him killed in prison, but Navarro survives. And now it's up to Marty to do what Navarro would do and interrogate and kill his top suspect. Now, Marty made a new friend here, Javi's mother and Navarro's sister, Camilla, but soon he realizes she's the one who tried to kill her brother because she thought he killed her son, Javi. But Wendy Byrde's like, yo, let's not tell him for now, let's see how this plays out. Now, when Marty and Wendy disagree this season, they don't have their classic blow-up fights, they just stew in silence. But with everything more intense than ever, you can tell they got a lot of pent-up anger. Ruth, meanwhile, is looking for a new friend, so she flies to Miami to recruit an old one, Rachel from the Blue Cat. Turns out because her cousin Wyatt married Darlene, who had no heirs, Ruth now inherits the Snell fortune. She tears down the trailers, gonna build an awesome new lake house. She actually gets her criminal record cleared and is ready to start a new life. And she buys a majority stake in the Missouri Belle Casino. Sorry, Marty, it's a hostile takeover, but no hard feelings. But Wendy's not gonna let that happen. She sends the cartel hitman to just go scare her. But she warns Rachel, who was staying at her place, and so when he shows up, blam! Oh, it's Rachel who kills him. And Ruth's happy no-crime new life starts with a dead cartel hitman buried under her pool. And now it's time for Byrde family dinner to check in on the kids. One of the kids anyway. Charlotte Byrde is happy with her parents these days and has no issues, but Jonah's still mad at his mom and is living in the motel. And there's yet another new problem. With all the attention around her brother Ben's disappearance, now Wendy's father's in town. He's hired the private investigator Mel Saddam, who was looking for Helen Pierce last season, now to find Ben. And her dad seems like a stand-up guy who's all about God and is sober now, but Wendy hates him, he was awful to her, and turns out he's still got a secret drinking problem and is an awful dude. Now this investigator's really good at his job. He figures out Wendy had a cartel hitman kill her brother. It's only a matter of time till he gets some real proof. So the Byrdes have to bribe him to drop it by getting him his old job on the Chicago police force back. But now Wendy and her dad have a blow-up fight. He's like, hey kids, why don't you come stay with grandpa for a while? And they're like, yeah, maybe that's for the best. But Wendy's not gonna lose her kids. She pulls a classic mom move and checks herself into the mental hospital to guilt trip them. Ruth and Wendy haven't been getting along, but they bond over having bad dads, so she goes down there and exposes his hypocrisy to the kids. So they go to see their mom, who gives them a pretty good apology for being too controlling lately, and the Byrde family's back together, including Ruth Langmore, Marty's protege, who at one point they considered part of the family. She and the Byrdes had been at odds lately, but now she's back, ready to be friends. But now, if the scene of the Byrde family happily driving seems familiar, it's because it was the scene from the beginning of season 4 that teased the massive car crash. Turns out though, they're all totally fine. The car crash was just like symbolic or whatever. Now back to the cartel. The Byrdes decide to side with Camilla. I think it's time the cartel had a girl boss. So in a prison transfer gone wrong, Camilla has her brother killed by Navarro, and third time's the charm as the Byrdes facilitate a deal between the cartel and the FBI. This time with Ruth and Rachel part of it, laundering money through the Missouri Belle legally for the FBI. And now with Camilla on their side, Wendy's able to scare Claire Shaw back into her deal. So now the Byrde Family Foundation is a huge success, and Wendy did it. She's the behind-the-scenes political queen of the whole Midwest. So it seems like everything is good. Happy endings all around. But before she had him killed, her brother told her the truth that he didn't kill Javi, and now she wants the truth. She threatens Claire very explicitly, and Claire Shaw has no particular loyalty to Ruth Langmore, so she gives her up. She's like, hey Byrdes, I know you and Ruth are tight, but I'm gonna kill her, and if you warn her, I kill you too. So the Byrdes start scrambling, how are we gonna save Ruth? But there's just no way to do it. You knew this had to happen. When it comes down to it, will Marty sacrifice Ruth to protect his family? And he does. And so Ruth Langmore, arguably the real protagonist of this show, this close to getting a happy ending, but instead with a curse on her lips, she is killed. And meanwhile, the Byrdes who got her into this mess get everything they want scot-free. To tie up loose ends with some minor characters, Sissy Mama's boy real estate guy lost his mother and his inheritance and his stripper wife, and now gets baptized he's found Jesus. And don't forget Ruth's other cousin, 3, who was barely in the show, but now has lost his entire family, but will be rich. And as for Marty and Wendy's marriage, well, it's saved. This whole ordeal has actually finally brought them together. They say they love each other and are gonna stick it out. But we're not done yet. There's one more problem. When Mill sat him the investigators in their backyard, he came back when it dawned on him the goat cookie jar has Ben's ashes inside, DNA evidence. And the Byrdes can't bribe him this time. He's not gonna let him get away with this. So it's up to Jonah Byrde with the shotgun. Every single season, he's pointed a shotgun at someone, and this time his parents give him the nod, and when it cuts to black, blam! And that's where Ozark comes to an end. If you like this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies.